Hey, TikTok. Now, I thought we'd start some discussions on the traits of narcissists because it's becoming rampant and social media is creating more and more and more because again, narcissists crave attention and admiration, so their loves and likes are so important to them to the point where I think, how pathetic are you? Not everyone's going to think like that, but I do. But I grew up before smartphones came into play in my life. But let's talk about gaslighting. The gaslighting, wow. Just ah, basically, gaslighting is a way of making you question your reality. That's what it is. It's so they change the narrative to fit what they want to remember in their head, to the point where you think you're losing your mind. And yes, it is that severe. Or because they don't like a particular story that paints them in a bad light, or that makes them look like an idiot, or shows them up. Whereas the average person would be like, yeah, I did that. I was a knob. Never mind. You know, it's called being a grown up. But the gaslighting, let's see if I can remember a few things here. I've been trying to forget most of it, and the mind does protect you in a way where anything that you remember that distorts your memories after you get away from the narcissist, it starts repairing itself and starts getting rid of those traumatizing situations, which it does. This is why I wrote a book, something I could shove in my face if this ever happens again, so I can say to myself, I told you so. I know, quite cynical, but it's something I needed to do for myself. And again, I didn't know what a narcissist was, and this time last year, I had no clue. So the past year has been a severe learning curve, from taking courses in grief counseling, psychology, narcissist abuse recovery, you name it, I'm doing it. Um, but yeah, gaslighting. I'll give you an example. My narcissist, the only time he was affectionate with me was when he wanted me to believe something or to change the story that paints him in a better light. So, the worst one for me, when actually, no, it wasn't the worst one. The most recent one for me, when I figured out what he was doing, was we were stood in the kitchen talking about something random, absolutely random. And he comes up behind me, wraps his arms around me, tells me he loves me, and that he's worried about me because I'm remembering things wrong. Stating things like, that didn't happen. Maybe we should get you some help, take you to therapy, counseling, or maybe we should see a doctor. There's something really wrong, in a loving and affectionate way. Now, that was the one I clicked onto, and it just came out of nowhere, and I literally screamed, don't you dare gaslight me. I know what I remembered. I've written it down in my diary. Would you like me to go and get it and read it out to you? Because after 3 years of being with him, he started this on day one, by the way, after he could twist a few stories to suit his needs, because anything that paints a narcissist in a bad light, well, they don't accept, do they? They need to remember what they want to remember to make them look good and intelligent and brave and everything else. Basically, a lying child. It's the nicest way I can put it. But he did that, and I just screamed, don't you dare gaslight me. Don't you dare. The fear in his eyes. I mean, there was no anger or anything. There was pure and utter fear. It was like, I've been caught. Damn. And even though he stepped up his game afterwards and tried harder, that was the first time I knew that he was lying to me and that he was making me believe things that weren't true. Because after the third year into this relationship, I started keeping diaries daily. I mean, every single day. I recorded our interactions. I turned the cameras on. I wrote down in my diary, handwritten, just in case with technology it gets deleted or an EMP pulse fries it or I lose a memory card or a computer crashes something. So paper and pen, always. Always go paper and pen. The only thing that can destroy that is if someone steals it or fire. Buy yourself a lockbox. That's what I did. And I would read these diaries back to myself. Well, this is what I've written, but he's saying something different. So am I remembering it wrong, like 2 or 3 hours after it happened? Or the unthinkable? Is he lying to me? Is he manipulating me? Is he abusing me? And unfortunately, it took me 9 years, 11 months, and 20 days, and 17 hours, 20 hours to realize it. Because my narcissist was a vulnerable narcissist. But here's the thing. They can adapt and change. They can become grandiose. They can become malignant, obsessive. And when you throw in the Machiavellianism, it's no different than being in a camp being tortured, except after years of enduring that, I would rather be smacked in the face, cut, poked with a red hot poker, drained of blood, than having to deal with my own memory that I thought that I was losing. It was extreme. I don't want to get into the details of it because I don't want to relive the trauma. That's why I wrote the book. It was a cleansing ritual for me to get it all out and down, something I could read back to myself loads and loads and loads of times to remind myself, yes, that happened. Yes, I allowed it to happen. No, I can't blame myself for it because I didn't know it was happening. I chose to believe that this person cared and that this person loved me. But he didn't. He might have in his warped view of way. But actions are the only thing you should believe. Words mean nothing without action. Just like in politics. Say one thing, do the other. That's a narcissist. That's a backstabber. They may call it politics, but we know it's not. It's a lie. Just like lobbying is another word for taking a massive donation or a bribe, so they sit on a decision. And then they'll make it go away with more lobbying or more donations because people at the top don't want it happening. Always the case. It's exactly the same as a narcissist and psychopath, which, by the way, the traits are identical. A narcissist is a psychopath is a narcissist, and a vulnerable narcissist is the most dangerous because they have the ability to adapt and change and become a different type of narcissist to whatever suits them. Not kidding. It is terrifying to know one person and then 5 minutes later they could become somebody else. And you never know who you're going to get. Food for thought. Look into it. Get smart. Protect yourself. Become so intelligent, no narc would ever try it again with you. That's what I'm doing. Thanks for listening.